question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Wednesday night. We are rolling on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter /X, Facebook, and Twitch. And it is episode 92 of the Throwdown. And tonight we are throwing down with New Orleans-based pro wrestler and semi-retired distance runner Lucky. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well tonight. It's the day after Mardi Gras here in New Orleans, so I'm definitely tired, but you know, in good spirits.
No doubt, no doubt. Were you? I'm presuming you were up late last night having fun.
I sure was actually, but it wasn't the Mardi Gras kind of fun. I went to the gym.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first and most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been involved with wrestling?
I have been involved with wrestling for exactly 1 year, so
Nice, nice.
yeah.
So you're training currently at Wildcat Sports, correct?
Correct. So Wildcat Sports is based out of Elmwood, Louisiana, and it's been around for 13 plus years now.
Nice. So
Yeah.
who actually is the primary trainer there? Who are you training under?
So the primary trainers that we work with are going to be PJ Hawks, who's the son of Luke Hawks, the owner. And then we also train with a great group called Slime Seasons. That's Buku Dow and Jay Spade. And sometimes we will get the opportunity to train with Danny Flamingo and Jace Fowler. So they're all just local New Orleans indie wrestlers, and they are phenomenal. They've also been featured in shows like what is the one? There's the one that's on Netflix, Heels. They've all been in Heels. They're part of WWE. Whenever it comes to New Orleans, they were at WrestleMania. So just an awesome group to learn from.
Gotcha. I'm sure you're looking forward to next year's WrestleMania and having it be in town.
I can't wait, and it's nice to have something to look forward to like that. Like now, I've got a goal in 13 months. I want all eyes on me when they're here in my city. So.
Absolutely. And having goals like that to strive for is something that we all need,
Yeah,
just
definitely
keeps you motivated and keeps you striving.
Exactly. It really keeps me on track.
So in terms of wrestling, what about professional wrestling has been the most challenging? What's been the most challenging aspect of the training for you to wrap your mind and body around?
Let's see. So going into professional wrestling, I really thought I had a leg up on everybody because I've run multiple marathons. I've gotten a lot of medals. I've done all kinds of running races. And a lot of people will say, I could never run. I can't do that. I could never. So it really made me feel as if I could do anything. I can run marathons. What can't I do? So getting into the ring, I was immediately humbled. I can't even begin to describe how different being ring ready and having ring cardio is. So I would say that's kind of been the most challenging part. It's a bit of a mind, F-U-C-K. I don't know if we're allowed to curse on here.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's really hurt my brain quite a bit, as well as hurt my pride, because I know how talented I am as an athlete, and it didn't instantly translate to wrestling. So really having to work through that has been, like I said, humbling.
Right, right. Well, like I was telling you before we went on the air, I've done some hobbyist level running, and I thought I was in fairly decent condition, and then several years ago I trained for a few years in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Ooh,
And I went into that thinking I was in good shape, but it's a
yeah,
whole different kind of cardio. you know, uh,
literally. Yep.
rolling around on the mat for 5-minute rounds with somebody who's trying to submit you is yeah,
Yeah, it is so
it's
different.
a whole different. It absolutely is. So I completely get where you're coming from on that.
Yeah.
So, so tell us about your distance running career. Did you do this in like high school and college, or how did all that go?
So I'm gonna be honest with you, I never did a sport in my entire life. I've never made a team. I was never athletic. I couldn't even finish the mile in those like high school, I don't know, time trials, things like that. I was the least athletic person in the entire world growing up. So then when 2020 came around and COVID hit, I had just moved to New Orleans. I had no friends. I didn't have a job. I had nothing to do. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll start running. The weather's nice here. I might as well get outside. And through running, I was able to find the community, and the community that I joined, I'm going to shout out the 504th because they're the running club here. They showed me that you can just be a runner casually and set goals for yourself and keep running and keep doing things. So from there, from 2020 on, I signed up for my first half marathon in 2021, signed up for my first marathon at the end of 2021. I ran two more after that. I was invited to join an all-female relay race team where we ran from LA to Las Vegas over 2 days. So we ran that in
Wow.
47 hours. Yeah, so I just found out that like I can do the hard things. So that's where my running came from. It was really just like out of necessity and boredom.
That's really cool, actually, that it just sort of came out of nowhere and kind of fell into
Yeah.
your lap. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I got lucky.
so. Regarding the wrestling, I'm presuming you've been a fan the majority of your life. Is that accurate or no?
So I feel so guilty. I just got into wrestling last year. I had the opportunity to go to a Monday Night Raw. I couldn't really understand why people liked professional wrestling because, I just assumed what a lot of people assume. And I went to that Monday Night Raw show, and my jaw was on the floor the entire time. Seeing people like Rhea Ripley and CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre come out, and I don't know any of their lore, but just seeing how incredible they are interacting with the crowd, how much the crowd loves them. When people started yeeting for Jey Uso, I was like, what is going on? I I was mesmerized. And then the fact that the crowd here, I mean, it was all different ages, all different colors, genders, families, single people, whatever, every person under the sun came together to watch wrestling. And I don't like it felt magical. So I have one regret in life, and it's not watching wrestling earlier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously, it's a fairly new thing to you, but at what point, did you start thinking, I think I can actually do this?
Yeah, I after I got home from the show that night, I got on my computer and I started Googling, and I wanted to understand what all these like all these people, what they meant and where their stories came from and why they were fighting each other. And I think Google just decided that because I was looking up wrestling so much that I should go to wrestling school. So it started sending me ads for wrestling school. I went to the local wrestling school, Wildcat Sports, and I saw just like a grit, a tenacity, like a toughness, and also a camaraderie that I didn't
Hmm.
realized was part of wrestling. And I was like, I think I can do this. Like I said, I can run a marathon. I could probably wrestle. Not the same, but I stuck with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, away from the wrestling and training and such, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Well, my lifestyle doesn't allow for a lot of other hobbies. I practice 3 times a week. I at the gym 5 times a week. I go running twice a week. If I'm not doing that, I'm studying wrestling. So I'm kind of like a wrestling wet blanket. Like when I'm at home, if somebody texts me like, "What are you doing?" I'm watching a pay-per-view from 2002 or trying to figure out, what my favorite, I don't know, episode of Monday Night Raw is from 1992. I don't know. I really stay in that sphere. If I'm not doing something wrestling related, I'm probably just going to the movies and eating my body weight in popcorn. That's my guilty pleasure.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I will give you some homework. There
Yeah.
is a match that I recommend to any young wrestler who has not seen this match. You
Okay.
may have to you may have to dig around on YouTube some to find it, but it's from 1989. It's
Mm-hmm.
from a WCW Clash of the Champions. It's an I Quit match between Ric Flair and Terry Funk.
Ah, wonderful.
And it is a master class in storytelling. That is in my top 3 matches of all time. So definitely
Awesome.
check that out. You'll thank me later.
I look forward to it. I honestly, my favorite thing is hearing people's like favorite matches or suggested matches. It gives me such a joy to like watch the match and then kind of see if I can associate it with the person or things that they've told me to highlight. From our one of our owners, his name is Matt Lancey. He will watch a match 5 times over. And so I'm getting into the practice of doing that. I'm watching the match first just to enjoy it. I'm watching a match then to just acknowledge what the referee is doing the whole time. I'll watch a match without any sound and see if I can figure out and call all the moves. I'll watch a match only paying attention to the crowd and the crowd's reaction, and watching a match just trying to figure out the camera angles. So, I mean, there's so much to wrestling that
There
some
really
people just
is. There
never,
really is.
yeah, it's
And
fascinating. I
and,
wish I could get a PhD in it.
and you've got such a passion, I can tell. I mean, and the fact that you're doing all of this and really taking a chance on yourself is just so cool. I mean,
Thank
it
you.
really is.
Thank you.
Um, so outside of wrestling, what athlete inspires you the most and why?
Huh, that's a great question. I would probably say I think I'm most inspired by Serena Williams. I love how she has fought tooth and nail to just be herself. Nobody wants to let this woman be her because she's in a sport that wasn't made for people who look like her. And so as she continues to just go beyond all of the boundaries and just keep setting the bar higher and higher for athletes, like I find her to be phenomenal on the court, off the court, in every aspect of her existence. So
Gotcha. So tell me about the in-ring character Lucky. Who is she? Yeah, I'm sure she's still kind of in development at this point, but tell me
mhm.
about the persona and kind of compare and contrast her with everyday you.
Yeah, Lucky and I are one and the same. We are honest to a fault. I am born and raised in New Jersey, so whenever somebody says something to me, I will have a quip back for you. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. I'm always going to be honest, and that's exactly how Lucky is. I don't sugarcoat anything, and I don't care about your feelings. I'll never be intentionally mean, but I'm never gonna not say what I'm thinking. So that's really played into how Lucky is inside and outside of the ring. I want to I want to fight just to prove that I'm the best, and more so to prove that I'm better than you. So
Okay, MJF.
he is he is my favorite promo. I don't care what anybody says. He just knows how to grind your gears, go right for the jugular. I respect it beyond anything.
Oh, I do too. I'm
Hmm.
I'm a huge MJF fan, and
Hmm.
the the thing about him that I really have a ton of respect for is, I mean, he came into the business with just this otherworldly ability on the mic, but
Hmm.
he has put in the work now to where he's really good in the ring too.
Hmm.
And that's been a pleasure to watch his growth
Absolutely.
as an in-ring talent.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so
for sure.
so who in terms of your in-ring work and your promos, who or what would you say are some of your influences? Who are you trying to sort of shape yourself after?
Um, I am trying really hard not to shape myself after anybody wrestling specifically because I don't want to get, I don't know, maybe typecast or feel as if I'm kind of recycling something that doesn't need to be redone. If there's somebody I would say that inspires me and what I want to achieve in the ring, Kurt Angle's definitely my favorite wrestler. I love the idea of technical excellence. I love mat wrestling, grappling. I love submission. I just love being strong and being technical and being correct, and kind of winning a match that way. But
Mhm.
otherwise, I kind of look more to like movie characters and that those kinds of personas to really mold how I express myself in the ring. So if you've ever seen some like horror films, I love the concept of final girls. Like I want you to see, Ellen Ripley in me. I want you to see Sydney Prescott in me and just know that like I'm not going to
The
take no
survivor,
for an
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to survive, but also,
You're
you're
gonna
not going to want to mess
thrive.
with me. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going to thrive. And I don't care again if I hurt anybody along the way.
gotcha.
Feelings wise,
So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan so far in your year of delving into the wrestling rabbit hole?
Yeah, I would say, oh, and man, and maybe I'll get in trouble for saying this, so block it out if you have to. I'm obsessed with matches that feature Kurt Angle, my favorite, and Chris Benoit. So their match at the Royal Rumble in 2003 had me sitting on the floor in front of my TV, looking up as if I was a 8-year-old watching Saturday morning cartoons. Like I was aghast. I edge of my seat screaming. So, I mean, I think that's
Oh
a
yeah.
beautiful match.
Well, I am also a huge Chris Benoit guy.
Yeah.
And I can separate his body of work from the man himself and how he
Hmm.
ended up.
Yeah.
I'm still a huge fan of Chris Benoit the wrestler.
Yes,
I
agreed.
mean, his three-way with Hunter and Sean at Mania 20 is
Hmm.
also in my top three
Yep.
favorite matches.
Yeah.
That match kind of had it all. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And then I do
yeah,
I do have a little like a bonus one. I feel like these two don't get enough credit for how awesome they are to watch together. So Bob Holly versus Al Snow at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre hardcore match. That is just the most fun match ever where they bring themselves out to the river and they're fighting on the water. I'm like, it's like wrestling is so cool.
absolutely, yeah, and we're in such a cool time right now because with the indies and everything else there is so
Hmm.
much content. There's just
Yes.
not enough hours in the week to watch all the stuff that's out there.
Tell me about it, especially the fact that I've wasted 30 years not watching wrestling. I could be so much further ahead. That's why I watch it every day.
So and this can be present day or past, who would be a dream opponent? Who would Lucky love to work?
Mm, that is such a good question. Um, I I would absolutely love to work with Jordan Grace. She is just the coolest, most hardcore. Like, I love watching her wrestle because I never doubt a single thing she does. She's so strong.
Yeah.
She's so intense. I She will crush me, and I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I'm dying to see her do a program with Rhea Ripley. I
Oh my
mean,
God. I mean, the
that
muscles everywhere.
those two, I think, could just tear the roof off the place. I mean,
It's crazy. I mean, NXT right now has such an incredible women's roster that I'm so excited to see, get their call up, like Stephanie Vacker's incredible Julia. It just an
mhm.
endless supply of extraordinarily talented women, especially.
Yeah, and this new partnership with TNA is just
Hmm.
I'm just loving it.
Same.
I
Yeah.
mean, so many possibilities for crossovers and just cool
Yes.
stuff.
I mean, how great was like the Rumble having so many TNA favorites and now
Oh
seeing the
yeah,
Hardys all over WWE again. It's so good. This is a great time to be a wrestling fan and a
oh
wrestler.
for sure, for sure. So you're still pretty young to this, and this may not apply all that much, but I'll ask it anyway, and that is, what hurts right now?
Everything hurts. Oh my God. So I'm actually working through an injury right now. I have a herniated disc between my C3 and my C4, so I've got spinal stenosis. So
Mm.
sometimes I lose feeling in my fingers, and that's really frightening. So that's what hurts on a regular basis. And then we'll see what happens, because I actually have a few more races to run this year, and that's where I'm getting the real injuries. Thankfully, no concussions yet or anything like that, but just kind of keeping the neck comfortable because it hurts constantly.
Yeah, and the neck's nothing to mess with. I was a paramedic for a number of years, and neck
Ugh,
injuries are, nothing to take lightly. So,
no.
be good to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I got a great spine specialist here in New Orleans that I have on speed dial. So we're always in communication about what's going on. So I feel, very taken care of in that respect. But also, wrestling is risky, whether you're just
Oh
taking
yeah.
a tiptoe into the mat, right? Or if you're pre-injured. So I kind of just
Yep.
doing what I love.
So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling?
I think it's a twofold answer. So for me as lucky, I think social media has been the biggest blessing. I have been able to reach out and create so many relationships and have lines of communication with so many people across the world about wrestling that I would have never had the opportunity to do. But I mean, if you take away the promotional aspects of it, social media, some people just want to take away the fun of wrestling. Like let people
Hmm.
enjoy it for what it is. We all kind of maybe do, maybe don't know whatever is behind whatever curtain you might be thinking about. Why do we have to talk about it? Let's enjoy wrestling. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
hmm.
So, besides starting earlier, um, knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I would tell my younger self to really care about something. I spent a long time not really having any hobbies or things that I was really passionate about, kind of just flowing from place to place and through the wind. And I think I would love to go back in time and say, hey, maybe pick one thing and like focus on it, like throw yourself into it and like love it a lot because I didn't find the ability to have a passion and a hobby that like has been so fulfilling until I found running a few years ago. So,
Gotcha. So, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. So my
okay.
previous guest from Monday night, this guy from New York who he wrestles with these fake abs. And so the question that he posed is, what are you doing to work on your character or gimmick? And what are you doing to try to get your gimmick over?
Oh, that's a great question. I think maybe this sounds bad. I've been calling my mom a lot more so I can try to get my accent back, my New Jersey, Brooklyn kind of accent. So I think that adds to the trashy, in your face quality of Lucky. So I'll call her all the time and she'll answer. She'll be like, "What? Go get the dog. Where's the water?" Blah, 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 like all these things. So I'm trying really hard to grasp back into that accent in that world so that you really can kind of feel the location that I'm coming from, because I know everybody has a negative connotation towards New Jersey. So
Gotcha. So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question you would like to ask the next guest? And I can go ahead and tell you the next guest, I've got a guy tomorrow night. He is a Florida-based wrestler, but he is also part of a mascot troupe for the Savannah Bananas baseball team. He's a man nana,
a
but
banana.
but his wrestling name is the Cheese.
The cheese.
The
Okay.
Cheese, yeah.
Okay.
And it
I
doesn't have
would,
to be, it doesn't have to be particular to him, but if you just happen to have a question you'd like to ask.
yeah, I would absolutely love to know if there is, a connection, or what experiences he's had from Savannah Bananaing that he can apply to his wrestling.
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm sure there likely is.
Yeah.
There's actually another indie wrestler from here in Georgia that's also
Uh-huh.
on the Bananas. So
Oh my
I'm
God.
I'm sure they have a blast together. So
Oh God, that's so fun. Because the Savannah Bananas are like really popular. Like what a great, like, I guess that's a gimmick too. So I'm sure the
yeah.
crossover is, really, you know, present.
No doubt, no doubt. So we're pretty much getting toward the end of things because I know your time was limited tonight. So
Yeah.
do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all you'd like to give some hype to?
I would love to promote the first Wildcat show of 2025. That's going to be on Saturday, March 29th. It'll be in New Orleans, Louisiana, at a place called Crescent City Christian School. All of our Wildcat shows are super family friendly. We have amazing wrestlers coming from all over the country to come wrestle the show. We always have women's wrestling involved, and they're continuing to announce the matches as we go, but tickets are on sale at wildcat.eventbrite.com, and it's going to be so awesome. So they just announced another match today, so it's going to be a tag match with the Ringworms, which is this great tag team out of Iowa and Los Angeles, and they're dirty gutter punks, just creepy, icky guys, and they're going up against two young guns. We've got Raza Rayleigh, who's a local hometown hero, and then we've got a gentleman, Josiah John the Rocket. He works out at Row with Booker T, so he's gonna be
Nice. Yeah.
to the moon. So it's like we get such awesome talent. We have an amazing crowd. So if you're wanting to go see a local wrestling show, we are so fortunate. We get hundreds of people out at these shows. So I mean, the energy is spectacular. It's the best time. I mean, I watch this show and have equally or more fun than I do when I'm at like a WWE show. So it's awesome.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Is Lucky going to have a match?
Lucky cannot say if Lucky's going to have a match yet. You will have to tune into the Wildcat Instagram because we announce our matches week by week to really keep people coming back.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
We will be keeping a close eye on that for sure. So
Thank you.
I want to thank you for your time. This has really been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And
I really appreciate it too.
And, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 with episode 93 with the Cheese. And in the meantime, do you have any final words that you would like to give to the Throwdown Nation, Lucky?
Throwdown Nation. All I've got to say is if you're going to go for something, Aim for the top. Don't aim medium. Don't aim low. Go straight for the top. Y'all will see me in WWE one day. And if you don't, y'all better hope for better luck next time. Thank you, Matt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And until tomorrow night, everybody be good to each other. Love